Hi there, I'm Dr. John Stover, and welcome to Introduction to Sociology here at the College of San Mateo. This is section AK. We'll be meeting on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 1:10 till 2 p.m. for basically the next 18 weeks. So this is a little different way of introducing myself to you on the first day of class. Obviously, I can't be there today. I'm sorry about that. I just found out that I had picked this class up at the last minute, and I am still here in Ohio visiting family. So what I'd like to do just in this short e-lecture is give you a sense of who I am, what I expect from the course, some of the things that we're going to be talking about, and then also give you your first assignment, because I want you to definitely do something sociological before we meet again on Wednesday. So by now you've had a chance to look at the syllabus, get a general sense of what I expect in a class, but let me just emphasize a couple things in addition to what you've read about. So the first thing I want to point out is that today is sort of unusual in the sense that I'm just talking to you, you're not talking to me because, well, this is an e-lecture. However, this won't be the case any other time this semester. The classrooms I run are super interactive. We do a lot of group work. We do a lot of reading comprehension and discussion. There's lots of activities that I plan in the class. I mix people up a lot. I get you talking with one another. So I really want you to prepare for that kind of interactivity. If you're a shy person or if you don't like to interact in class, then this may not be the class for you, because I really depend on students to jump into the mix with me. I don't want to hear myself talk for 50 minutes, and I'm sure you don't either. So I'd much rather hear from you and get into a discussion. So always come to class ready to discuss. You always want to be sure to do the readings as well. Our textbook, Seeing Ourselves, which is in the bookstore, these are not hard readings, and I don't overly prescribe readings either. So whatever I'm assigning you is very doable. If I find that people are not doing the readings, then I'll assign even more, and they'll be writing to go along with it. So it's really in your best interest to just do the readings, be prepared to talk about it, and we'll talk more about that on Wednesday as well. Okay? So make sure you get the textbook. I don't care if you get it at the bookstore or online. Just make sure you get it. It's Seeing Ourselves, edition 8. If it's cheaper to get an earlier edition, you can do that, but you'll have to be careful to make sure that you have readings from both. So I'll talk more about that on Wednesday as well. Okay? But this is the text, Seeing Ourselves. Okay? The other thing I want to point out is that when I come to class, I'm really looking for you to help me deliver the material. Now, what does that mean? I'm, the expert, right? I've gone to school for longer than probably any human should be allowed to go to school. But I can't do it all. So you're going to have to help me move through the material, which means that the work that you do both inside and outside of class is going to help us do that work. So, to that end, I want to talk about your first assignment. So, get a pen and paper out. I'll wait. Okay, ready? Good. So, what I want you to do between now and Wednesday is I want you to people watch. Now, think about it. That's probably not very hard, right? You've been to the mall, you've gone out with your friends, you've sat in a fast food restaurant or a nice restaurant or any kind of restaurant, and you've watched other people, what they're doing. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to go somewhere, sit down, and for 30 minutes, I just want you to watch what's going on around you. Now, there's a couple things I want you to do while you're doing this. The first thing is I want you to take notes. I want you to write down what you see, what people are doing, how they're dressed. A way to remember this is the 3 A's. Action, what kinds of actions are people doing? Appearance, how do people look? How do they carry themselves? What's their demeanor? What are the looks on their faces? How are they dressed? What does it indicate about, who they are socioeconomically? And then the third thing is attitude. What kinds of attitudes can you see in people in their interactions, but also in the way that they interact with other people? Write down as much detail as you can. Try to capture as much information in your observations as is possible when you're sitting there for 30 minutes. And again, do this for 30 minutes. Don't do it for any shorter and don't do it for any longer. Write down as much as you can just within that 30-minute period about what you see. Now, here are some don'ts. Do not, no way, right? Do not go somewhere where you're uncomfortable. One time I had a student come back and tell me that they were being stalked by some guy 2 booths over at an IHOP. And I said, well, why didn't you leave? Well, because my 30 minutes wasn't up. Well, don't do that. If you're uncomfortable, if some weird dude is giving you vibes, if somebody's talking to you that you don't want to talk to, then absolutely don't stay there, right? Don't get yourself in a situation that is uncomfortable or unsafe. Be somewhere that is familiar to you. Don't go somewhere totally random, right? You want to know your surroundings. And don't distract yourself while you're doing this assignment. So, no texting, no talking on the phone, no checking Facebook or Twitter or Reddit or whatever, right? Just shut all that business down. Don't listen to music. Be aware. Use all your senses. Use your eyesight, use your hearing, use your smell, right? Write down as much as you can. Now, if you're in a familiar setting and there are friends there, do not record personal information. I don't need to know that Tammy just broke up with Billy and Billy gave her herpes. Nobody needs to know that, right? That's their own business. So don't use names. Don't use personally identifiable information. You want to describe people, right? Like if you saw me, you'd say, oh, I see this tall guy with a beard and glasses. He's kind of overweight and, wearing a tie and kind of looks like an old dude, but really isn't old. I'm 43, so that's not old, just in case you're wondering. All right, so record information that is seeable, that you know what it is, but don't get too personal. We don't need to get personal with people's lives if you know what's going on. So write down what you see, okay? At the end of the 30 minutes, whatever you have is what you have. And for now, that's all you need. Bring that to class on Wednesday, okay? We're going to use that then to go into our next fieldwork assignment, which I'll talk more about on Wednesday. So, your mission, if you choose to accept it, between now and Wednesday is to review the syllabus, see if you have any questions, and we'll go over it again together on Wednesday. Do your observation, get those notes down, spend 30 minutes somewhere where you're comfortable, where you can get a lot of information about what's going around you, and work on getting the textbook. So I would want you to have the textbook by a week from today. Okay? That's it. See you Wednesday. Bye-bye.